Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren Fix. This is the 2022 Acura RDX, and this is the A-Spec trim level. This is new for 2022. There's a lot of changes, and I want to show you some of the coolest things. Starting off with the new headlight design, that new front end. It's a little bit wider, and this black chrome I think is cool. And there's also a PMC very special edition 200 built in the NSX plant, and if you're lucky enough to have one of those, it might be a future collectible. You never know. It does have special exterior colors as well as interior colors. Further down, you're going to see that this front splitter has been changed. It is matte black, and that's really smart because what happens is you get bugs and dirt and grime on it, and you're not going to see it. So they did a really nice job. And as you work your way around this way, there are 19-inch wheels that come standard. This is the 20-inch, and I do love this alloy wheel because it is a black chrome. You can really see it fills up the wheelhouse pretty good. They could probably even gone with a bigger wheel and tire combination, but right now this is a really nice, this is a Goodyear tire, and it's an all season. So if you're looking to drive it through the winter, you might want to get winter tires. Now, moving further back, you're going to notice little Easter eggs around here. Acura put in right here, that's on the side of the lens, and you're going to notice different things to try and denote this car as being different from just anything that's on the street. Now this competes with the BMWs and the Mercedes and Audi, of course. I do like this new detail line here. It is a black chrome, a lot of black chrome. That's like the new thing. You're seeing it in kitchens, and you're also starting to see it in cars. So some of this detail is all together. Body color handles. Moving along the side, I love this matte black mixed with the shiny black. It gives it a really nice, modern, stylish, a little bit more muscular look because this does have a wider stance than the previous generation. So there are some big improvements to this vehicle over last year. Let's come around to the back. You can see that this wing has very much, this still reminds me, this look is that they're almost like they all want to be Porsche Cayennes. They all want to be Audis. So again, you have this more muscular look with the integrated taillight. The wiper is down here. I kind of wish it was tucked up underneath. Just gives it that cleaner line, which is what they're trying to present. So we might hopefully see that down the road. As long as you comment about that, I'll share that with Acura. Below the A-Spec, you're going to notice these huge tailpipes. And this is part of the new look when you're talking about A-Spec. It's more performance. This is the same tailpipe you're going to see in the PMC version. Further along the back, you've got this new splitter as well. Again, trying to give that more muscular look. If you're going to compete in the German category, which this vehicle sells way more than the Germans sell of their vehicles, you have to remember that the RDX is here to try and capture some of that market, and that's really what it's all about. Further back, you've got your super handling all-wheel drive, which gives you that all-wheel drive handling for the winter, which makes this a really great vehicle for year-round, no matter where you live in the country. Let's take a look at the inside, and I'll give you some more details. So it's important when you test drive any vehicle that you drive it not just on the regular roads, but also on the highway to get a feel for what this is like. So going into the comfort mode like I had done earlier, I instantly can feel the new suspension. That's part of that super handling all-wheel drive, that it truly does make the adjustment from a comfort ride to the normal ride to the sport ride. We'll be doing the sport portion in just a minute, but I really wanted to get a good feel for what this is like. So one of the things that you notice right away is the beefier steering wheel, the more sporty seat with adjustments, not just for lumbar on both sides, but also for the upper support, thigh supports. They've really done a great thing with the standard 14-way power seats. Heated seats, air-cooled seats, and I put it on automatic for the seats, and one of the things I noticed right away is it increased the air-cooled seat in order to match the temperature, which I had reduced down to 70. And it's pretty hot out here today, and that's great because what we're getting out of this is a really nice climate-controlled area. And one of the things that has been upgraded on the RDX for 22 is a quieter ride. So there's insulated front glass, side glass on the advanced package and higher, the rear glass, thicker carpeting, and you can hear this very loud truck next to me. Barely hear it inside. So if you're having a conversation, you're getting a much more premium, quieter ride, and that also makes it less stressful rather than listening to these heavy-duty trucks going by or noise outside. It's definitely more insulated in every single trim level, but on the top trim level, this is the A-Spec with the advanced package, you can definitely tell the difference. We're going to be getting off at Mulholland Drive and put this thing into sport mode with the super handling all-wheel drive. They claim that it handles better, and we'll find out. The exhaust note also changes in sport mode. and it gets much louder, which I like. It sounds throatier. It doesn't sound like it's filtered through the speaker system, which is a 16-speaker ELS audio system, which is also an upgrade from the previous generation. Now we're in the sport mode up on the famous Mulholland Drive. Let's see how this handles. Some nice corners here. You can instantly feel there's a difference in the sport mode versus the normal and the comfort. And I think that's what they were trying to get at, is that you've got real true torque vectoring. I like the connectivity to the roadway. It handles really nicely. Like I said, it's a little bit of body roll, but you know, it is not a sports car. But in the sport mode, it's certainly the most fun way to drive this. As we drive through some of the curvy roads, the residential roads, and on the highway with the RDX, overall, it's immediately impressive over its previous generation. That wasn't bad, and it sold really well. But what you're getting is a much improved vehicle overall. And that's not just the seating comfort, it's the handling, it's the performance, that instant reaction without the lag. And that's one of the things that people get frustrated with, is you put your foot in it and you've got a lag. That lag has gone the way they programmed and mapped out the accelerator pedal. The technology is pretty much the same as before. They have added standard Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Both are wireless. And that is improvement, because sometimes you'll see Apple CarPlay is wireless, but Android Auto is not. And so they've added them both in, both wireless, and you can get wireless charging, and that's on the upper trim levels. There's also Alexa involved in this vehicle, and you've got remote start, which can be started at a much longer distance than before. One last thing, the head-up display is nice, it's large, it's easy to read. The sign recognition is also part of this, and all of these safety features are standard. Now, there's additional safety features you get when you buy the advanced package, but this is really well done. And I think they're well aware of the fact that they picked up all the flaws that they may have had in the past that they no longer have. One of the things that bothers me about this vehicle that I find is pretty much the only negative is it's not a touch screen, which a lot of people are used to. So you have to use this mouse in front of you. It's the same technology they've used in the past. It is much improved over the past interface. But when you're working with this multimedia interface, people are getting used to wanting to touch the screen, and that is not an option. So it's one way to control all this, and that is here, or you can use what's on the steering wheel, which has also the volume and a lot of the additional safety features, and also the cruise control is here. You have paddle shifters if that's what you want. Is it needed? It doesn't make much sense, but the features that are here are easy to use. There's storage underneath. You've got wireless charging. Heading further behind the shifter, which is the push button shifter, and in front of that is your dynamic modes, which goes to snow, comfort, normal, and sport. It's right here. It's a dial, easy to use. You just dial it: sport, normal, comfort, and snow. It's all right here. You cannot touch this. You can only use the dial to get it into those modes. We'll go back to my favorite mode, sport, which also uses the most fuel. Below this center console is a regular 12-volt outlet and a USB-C charging port, and there's a USB charging port here that is with 2 cup holders, and there's more in the center console as well. There's storage in the doors as well as your ELS speakers. The one thing about the comfort setting is it does absorb a lot of the road variations, whether it be manhole covers, expansion joints and such. It does a much nicer job than its predecessor as far as making the ride more comfortable. Going to the normal mode, this is sort of that happy medium where most people would be driving. You are still feeling a little bit of the road expansions, but certainly not what you would in comfort, which is great if you're just looking for a nice, cushy ride, so you can feel that. So one of the things they've upgraded with the interior, whether you buy an A-Spec package or the top of the line premium packages, you can get this orchid interior. It's not black, but it's just this coolest tint of purple. It's very minor, but it gives it a softer feeling than that harsh black. And it just gives you a more warm feeling. Also, there's some Alcantara type material here. Real Napa leather seats, that is nice. Back seats are really comfortable as well. And we'll head back there in just a second. Do like this huge glass roof. You can leave it open or close, but we're filming here for you, so we have it wide open so you can see how bright it gets in here. And again, that's a matter of personal choice. One thing to note is I'm really happy that they have the volume button right here. It's actually a dial. There's no slides. people really hate that, and this is gloss. The rest of it is not. Getting on the on-ramp, we're gonna put it into normal mode. There's a little bit of a lag, but in sport, it disappears instantly. Going into that wonderful California rush hour traffic, and the sport becomes almost useless. So since we're on the highway, we're gonna get out of that sport mode because we can't really use it. We're gonna go to comfort mode. Since we're sitting in rush hour traffic, we've all experienced that. Even if you don't have rush hour in your area, you at least have the understanding of what it's like. And it really does a nice job on the highway with all the expansion joints, and I'm purposely driving over a few of them so you can feel how quiet it is in the interior and how nice this vehicle absorbs those road variations. I'm liking how this vehicle feels overall. To me, it feels like a departure in a very positive direction. The RDX outsells the Q3 and the Audi and the Mercedes by quite a dramatic amount. It is the #1 vehicle in this segment. And I always say, drive them all, check your insurance rates, because that's going to make a huge difference. The German vehicles are probably going to be more expensive, certainly something to keep in mind. You can feel there's a distinct difference in sport mode, and I really like this. I think it's a huge departure from the predecessor, and RDXs have been a very popular vehicle all along, but now I think they're going to sell more of these, and so Acura better be ready to support this. Old Topanga Canyon Road has been around for a long time. There's some spectacular homes here. In addition, this is an amazing road to test drive a vehicle while looking at some pretty cool houses. This is the way to live if you can afford to live here. One of the things about the back seat is there is a lot more headroom than there was. Knee room is pretty good. This seat's pretty far back. Someone was sitting here who was over 6 feet tall, and there is still knee room. There are 2 charge points and heated rear seats. Nice center console with built-in cup holders, 60-40 split, 2 latch systems, but this vehicle does seat 5 people. When you come around to the back, you've got a 60-40 split seat, and when those seats are folded down, you have almost 80 cubic feet of storage. Underneath this cover is more additional hidden storage, and that's really nice to have. When you're looking at this vehicle compared to the competitors, it has more storage space, which is important. Price ranges range from $39,300 all the way up to $58,000 if you're buying the A-Spec with the tech package, which is what we test drove. Either way, the bottom line is this vehicle handles better. It has no lag when you get on the gas, which is truly an improvement. The only thing I found as a negative for this vehicle was the interface. For the multimedia, you have to use the mouse. I prefer having a touch screen, but having those options again, is that important to you? Does that make this vehicle bad? No, it doesn't. This vehicle has a lot to offer. There are 9 exterior colors, 5 interior colors, and they've really done a nice job making this more sophisticated, more sporty, and it definitely goes head to head with the Audi and the BMW and the Mercedes because everybody's in this class. So before you make a final decision on one of these vehicles, check with your insurance agent to find out the difference. And then you're going to see that the RDX has an even better value than it did before. Now, if you got value from this video, make sure to like and share and subscribe. We do appreciate your support. Check out our website, carcoachreports.com. We have content in English and in Spanish, and we also have reviews from other contributors on the site. Follow me on all forms of social media @LaurenFix, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.